Oh, just a moment. There's always 2 clicks to do. Oh, perfect. Okay, now it's working. That's still a bit struggling here. Okay, another live session here from Teleskop-Service, our full moon live session. It's not actually full moon anymore, but it's around that time, and that's always a good opportunity to have a nice chat with astro interested people. And just for a little introduction, I want to introduce the guys that you're seeing here. The first one is Iwan from California, USA. The second one, Peter from South Africa. And the third one is Jascha from Slovenia. And I'm Thorsten here from Germany. And we are all ambassadors from Teleskop-Service. And that means we represent the company on social media and, yeah, let's say worldwide, and any opportunities that we got. And yeah, we also have some testing opportunities to test out gear, which is pretty interesting. And we will tell you something about this gear in this session. So some more words from me. Maybe you have seen it in our advertisement. We will also do a giveaway, and I will repeat this. I think it's for people that are attending later. We will do a giveaway. We will give out 4 of these vouchers for the Teleskop-Service shop, which I think is a real good opportunity. But I will tell you the details and some little rules about this later on. So, and also chat is running. Super cool. Okay. And this is also an invitation for you, for the viewers. If you have any questions to us about, yeah, astro gear, telescopes, astrophotography, whatever you want to know, just put a message in the chat, and we will try to answer this. Okay. So, yeah, hello to all guys in the chat. Also Germans. Fantastic. Yeah, there was another thing that I want to mention just briefly. For the next, what's happened in the next sessions? Oh yeah, giveaway. Yeah, of course. Damn boy. What happened in the next session? We are planning to invite some guests here, guest speakers, and we were already in contact with some people, and we got great responses from our first stream. That was really interesting, and we want to invite these people in the next session. So we have many things to talk about, and also many people to introduce to you. And what we also want to do is we maybe do an imaging review. That means you can send us your photos. Sorry, you can send us your photos, astro photos, and we can discuss them here and show them, of course, to the viewers, and maybe discuss the gear a bit, or maybe also give you some tips or our impression of these photos. I think that's also a cool story. Okay, so I would say, guys, what do you think? Will we show some photos already, or isn't it time for it? Yeah, yeah. I'm not sure. if the others had more luck. Sure. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I will definitely want to see the iris. Mm. I'm sorry, I just have to interrupt you. Um, there's something. S- yeah, but that's from the streaming. That's from the streaming, I believe. Uh, just a moment, please. Maybe yeah, it's sucking the sound. Uh, uh, I think so, I think so too. Yeah, it's just not working properly. Yeah, yeah. I'm not sure what happened here. Uh, just a moment. Yeah, life, that's always challenging. So let's try this one. No, this is still not working. No. Oh, I'm really sorry. Guys, I have to check out what happened here. Last time it worked flawless. The sound is just not transferred from Zoom to YouTube. So okay, just so this is also not working. No, that's external software here with OBS Studio. But still nothing, I think.
Yeah, I can hear you just fine in the YouTube live and stuff. Maybe there's like a weird pass-through thing that's happening, maybe. Yeah, let me mute myself and Zoom and now go in YouTube and then put my attention there.
Next time we invite everybody to Zoom directly. Still not working. Okay. We can hear something. Okay. Something is not enough. Ivan, can you say something again, please?
Hey, can you guys hear me now? Is it fine? Hello? My microphone. I heard that's what the pros do. Whoever's active in the chat.
But no. I'll give it a try. Just a moment. Yeah, you're good here, so that's freaking. Oh my god. Fasst das nicht. Yeah. You're good here, so that's okay, yeah.
Come on, I was...
Okay, then let's set up it like this, and
You can keep talking, I don't mind.
yeah, just keep talking, yeah, that's good.
Exactly, yeah. I got a bridge to sell everybody, that's okay.
So I believe this should be better now. You guys in the chat, can you please drop us a comment? Ivan,
Yeah,
just keep talking.
yeah, can you guys hear me? I'm running for Congress. Yeah. What else is going on here?
Yeah, Johan, I just checked, and on YouTube you were super quiet.
That's really unheard of with me.
Just keep testing it because there's a delay.
20 seconds delay. Yeah. So, oh, I can hear everyone now. Good. Thank you.
Okay, good.
So we're
Perfect.
good, Ron. Right?
Okay,
Okay, so I'm gonna go off the edits. I'm gonna go back to the Pelican Nebula, and I'm gonna say again that weather sucked around here. Perfect. We're happy it's working. Amazing. So yeah, I'm gonna do a YouTuber and say follow and subscribe. The weather's kind of been pretty bad for me, and I actually started imaging the Pelican Nebula, which is coming quite late. It's coming up at about 1 a.m. between some palm trees that I'm trying to kind of wiggle my way around. I've imaged about maybe 7 hours in total for this, and it's just been a kind of battle to get time. I'm gonna image another 13 hours to get about 20. It's the Hubble palette. It's with a old Moravian 16200 CCD, chroma 3 nanometer filters, and then Takahashi FSQ 106N, an amazing old scope. So this is a work in progress. It has not been processed really well, just a quick stack just to see how the data looks. But I'm really impressed with the star size. I'm impressed with the quality that's coming up from the fluoride glass. So this is one of the images. The other image that I was showing, which is, oh, I'm too loud now. Okay.
Ivan, just a moment. Can you get back to the previous one, please? I'm not sure. Did you mention the camera used?
Yes, I said the Moravian 16200
okay.
CCD.
Sorry, I missed that.
It used to be the camera I used to use on the RC, and it's still an excellent camera. 60 micron pixels is something that will work with anything if you can deconvolute. So although they're older cameras, they're slower to download, they're still amazing instruments. And I think Moravian, especially to me, has a special place because it's a great little camera. Little, I mean, not figuratively, it's a big 3-pound brick, but it just works, and it's never let me down. It always never had a problem with drivers, never had a problem with download. So okay, so talking about downloads and problems, moving on to CMOS cameras. This has been taken with the QH5600M, which the chip itself, the IMX455, is probably one of the best chips you can find on the market, but CMOS cameras are a little bit more finicky than CCDs. They're harder to calibrate because they're not necessarily deep space instruments as much as CCDs are. The image that I'm showing now is an image of the Iris Nebula taken in a Bortle 2 sky. It's in the high desert, not that high, maybe 1,300 meters elevation in the east part of California and in between the Sierras. So it's a beautiful place to visit. It was taken at a new moon. So it was taken about 2 weeks ago. I spent about 4 nights on it. I had the night I shot the color, the seeing was horrible. So if the stars are bloated, it was high altitude wind that was happening there. So the luminance channel is amazing. And I shot that at full 1:1 resolution at 60 megapixel, but the color I did 2:2 because color doesn't hold resolution and it's just there to add color. Like it's, and I quite like it. I think it's got some weird artifacts from the wind and the seeing that kind of were brought out when I switched too much, but I'm gonna go back there soon and I'm gonna give it another try. I was definitely impressed with the skies, the quality of the images. I never had to think about flats, which is something is synonymous with LIB imaging, and it came out pretty well. Same FSQ 106 telescope. It was chroma filters and the Ioptron 40 EC, and I used the OEG actually in this case because it was easier and it just made it quicker. That's all from me. Right now I'm servicing my big Richie Crit, and it's getting a new reducer, the super reducer from APM, which is a super hassle because it needs super adapters. And I'm getting some parts machined by a friend. And once that's done, I will be starting to image with that. So that's it from me, guys. Thank you. And if you have any questions about me and my imaging or my scopes, I'm available on Instagram for any kind of support.
Wow, And to be honest, that I saw the Iris Nebula many times, many times. But this one is maybe the best one I ever saw.
I
That's
think you're
great.
biased because you like me, Thorsten. I think you're biased because you like me. I was actually the image I was going for. I know Adam Block took an excellent image from almost the same position what I was imaging with the Eastern Sierras Observatory, but he took it with a epsilon,
Yeah.
which is also one of my old scopes. The epsilon is f3, so f2.8, sorry, and it was he got a lot more light. I was close. Next time I'll get closer.
Sure.
Next time.
Yeah. Okay. Peter, were you able to capture something? Yeah, sure. Sorry, of course you were able to capture some things.
Yeah, look, April wasn't such a great month in terms of the weather. It's a change of season. We have clouds, usually this time of the year, bit of wind as well, and we also had a terrible fire. So, big fire on Table Mountain, which caused a lot of damage, destroyed a restaurant on top of the mountain, destroyed an old windmill, which had been around, since I think the 1800s. And the sad thing about the windmill, they had just renovated it. They had literally finished renovating the windmill the day before, and they'd had a little party to celebrate. And then the next day we had this huge fire, and it was burnt to the ground. And the university also was affected. We lost a library, as one of our old libraries with many collections from African history and African language. That was destroyed. So it's been quite tough. But despite all of that, I did manage to image with both telescopes, with the Edge HD 800. So I shot M83. So let me just try and share my screen. Just give me a second. Let's see. Okay, here we go.
Is it the season for wildfires right now in South Africa, Peter? Or is just a
I really thought we had missed the season. Quite frankly, I thought we had averted the really hot weather, and but on this particular occasion we had an extremely hot day. It got up to about 37 degrees, which is extremely unusual for March. And also the wind direction was abnormally, it was a northwester. Normally it's a southeaster. Blows the fire towards the Atlantic Ocean. This time it was blowing the other way. And a lot of pine trees caught fire. And when pine trees catch fire, they explode. And they send a lot of flaming debris for up to 1 kilometer away, and that's how the university was affected. So the roofs of a number of buildings were very badly damaged, and the fire burned down from the roof of the library and caused all the damage. So let me just
that's wild, Peter.
So I'm sharing something. I'm not sure what.
Oh, we see many things.
Enough. Let me just. We stop sharing, and I think I've shared my main screen, haven't I? Let me share. Oh, here we go.
You had your eagles there and some SGP stuff, I believe.
There we go. All right. So M83 was my primary target this month, or this past month. And let me just see if I can make this full screen. There we go. So M83. So this was shot with the Edge HD 800 with the 294 MC Pro. So it's a one-shot color. I captured about 10 hours worth of data. Pretty happy with it. I'm not finished yet. I've swapped the cameras over to the 294 mm, so I'm going to capture some luminance and combine it with this color data. And then really I've been quite lazy using the one-shot color. What I really should do is do an LRGB image you know, but I get lazy and I, you know, I do the color data with the one-shot color, and then I do a luminance image with the mono. But I'm pretty.
You plan on capturing any hydrogen alpha for this, Peter?
Yes, yeah, that's the plan as well. Is to take some HA as well on this. But I'm pretty happy with the you know, the HA regions in the galaxy have shown up already quite nicely, even with the one-shot color. So I think the HA will only, you know, make that even more prominent. But overall, I'm fairly happy with the image, and I think the luminance really will make the details pop. But what I did do is you know, just out of interest, I did a little zoom in around the core, and that, you know, that's without the luminance data. With the luminance data, this, you know, really is going to pop. So I'm quite excited with this project, and I've got plenty of time still. It's I've got about maybe 2 hours before it crosses the meridian, and then, you know, probably another 4 hours after that. So plenty of time at the moment to capture data on this target. And then
Peter, I have a question for you. For this
yeah, sure.
Can you go on the origin? Yeah, this one. Are you planning on adding, like, how much are you planning to reveal the star strings around it? Because I know that there are some star strings around it, but they're pretty faint. So I was thinking if you could maybe try to pull that out, or do you think it's a bit too hard?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, this is very much still a work in progress, and I didn't spend a lot of time processing the data. It was really just a quick stack and a little bit of sharpening, and nothing really more than that. So, yeah, once I've got the luminance data and I've got the HA data, then I'll sit down and spend, you know, a few hours processing everything and try and do a reasonable job. Also, the star colors are not that great either on this image, so I need to also pay more attention to that.
Also, Peter, there's someone asking, did you use the T8 Edge HD at f10, or did the reducer at f6?
No, this is with the 0.7 reducer. So no, I very rarely image it at f10 at the full 2000 millimeters. So this is, you know, pretty much, you know, 99% of the time will image with the reducer.
Yeah, f10 isn't really a DSO kind of speed that you want to use. I would say anything on 7 and lower is perfect. 10 is going to be slow.
It's very slow, but I've seen some people, you know, shoot galaxies at f10 and they've come out pretty well. But you have to invest a lot of time.
Yeah.
And you know, so the other target was the Statue of Liberty nebula, and that was the first image I've taken with the EDPH 94 millimeter. So this is an HO image, 5 hours HA and 5 hours of O3. So again, it's a work in progress. I want to double up on that time. You can see it's still a little bit noisy in the background. So double up on the HA and the O3, also add the S2, and then I want to also grab some RGB data as well and replace the stars with natural colored stars.
What's
So
the
that's the
nebula
plan
on
with
the
that.
left? What's the nebula on the top, Peter? What's
Sorry,
the
which?
the nebula on the top left?
Oh, the nebula on the top left. I'm not sure, actually. That's a good question. I can quickly take a look at. It's quite nice, eh? I mean, there's a lot of detail in there.
Yeah.
It might be worth spending a bit of time to slew across and.
Peter, about what focal length do we talk here with this 94?
So this is with the reducer. So this is 414 millimeter.
Okay.
Actually, it's closer to 411 millimeters. So if you plate solve, it comes out at 411 millimeters. I know the advertised focal length is 414, but you know, it's much the muchness. It's pretty much the same. But yeah, it's a nice focal length, and one of the reasons why I went for this telescope is it's going to complement my Rasa 8 very nicely. The Rasa 8 is 400 millimeters, so I can have both telescopes running concurrently,
Oh yeah,
and I can have narrowband being captured by the Rasa, and then color data being captured by the refractor, and then combining the two sets of data.
Have you seen a difference? Because I think when you check, I'm curious to see the difference between the contrast, because I think we all know the refractors are the kings of contrast and reflectors are the king of aperture, right? I'm curious to see a comparison between the Rasa and the TS optics. I believe, and my opinion is the sharpness in the refractor is going to overwhelm the Rasa quite easily. But signal, that's not going to be as relevant.
The signal is going to be great with the Rasa, which is why the plan is to to really gather the color data and the stars with the refractor, because the refractor is going to be will always be king with regard to the stars. While the Rasa I found to be incredible with narrowband. So you can take 120 second subs HA, and that's plenty. So none of these 5 or 10 minute subs that you'll be taking with a refractor. It's no more than 2 minutes, and then 03 about 60 seconds. So it's and very quickly you get a ton of data with that telescope. So it's going to be quite exciting to combine the data from both of these telescopes. Overall, I've been pretty happy so far with the EDPH 94. I've not had any real issues. It's an incredible fit with all the other equipment I have. I've got the Sesto Senso focuser, and that slotted on like a glove. It really was amazing. I've never installed a focuser so quick. It literally took 5 minutes.
Okay.
So the focusings work great. So and I've noticed that it's got some screw holes underneath the focuser to clamp on. If you've got another focuser you want to sort of clamp on, it's got those ready-made holes on the underneath of the focuser on that telescope, which is quite
going to be for the Pegasus or others like the Deep Sky Dad focusers, the one that work off the big knob instead of the fine course. Maybe that's why those holes are there.
Maybe, yeah. And then so that's this project. So again, these are all works in progress. And then lastly, literally, I started this two or 3 nights ago. So this is NGC 4945, also in this Centaurus region, so literally next door to M83. And this is some luminance data I've captured so far on that. So this is about 2 hours worth of luminance. Not very much, but pretty happy with it. Again, this is with the 294 and the Edge HD 800. So I'm quite excited about this project.
Peter, have
so
you
that's
tried?
really
Sorry, go on.
Sorry?
No, I just wanted to ask if you tried shooting H out with a 294 ever.
Not yet. No, the 294 is out of the box. Literally, this is the first image I've captured with it, and I've only used it twice so far with the Edge HD. So, and I'm pretty happy with it so far. The amp glow calibrates out perfectly. There's no issue with the amp glow. And I quite like the pixel size on that camera, and also the MC Pro as well. It's a good fit with the Edge HD. So I don't have to. I can bin on the on the 294 then the native binning is 2x2, and then they've got the sort of unlock bin 1 mode, which doubles up the resolution, but at the expense of dynamic range. But at the native resolution with this camera, it's a great fit with the Edge. I'm very happy with it.
Peter, Astrocarpets is asking if you have seen banding issues with H alpha in the MC, in the 294 MC.
MM.
With
yeah.
with H alpha. No, I haven't actually used.
Sure, yeah,
the narrow
you said
band
this.
yet, but
Yeah.
But
I'll report back on that.
I think, Aran, in your question, what happens is this banding is a result of a bad power supply, most likely, and it just, if you try a different power supply, I've seen it go away in quite a few cameras. So if you're using the native power supply, then maybe it's a different power supply thing. But if you're just using another alternative power supply, check it out, because banding usually comes back.
Yeah. What I've noticed with the 294 is that it does help cooling the camera down very slowly. So I will spend 10 minutes cooling the camera down to -10 degrees. And that does seem to help quite a lot. If you don't do that, if you do a very quick cooling, then sometimes what you get is frost developing on the sensor, and that will be picked up. It does go away eventually, but it's a bit annoying. So cool that camera down slowly.
What brand are you of the 294? Are you using ZW or QHY?
It's the ZWO.
Okay, there was a question in there.
Yeah. I see Finlay's Astro is asking HAQ5 and 200p. I'm not sure 200p, is this the Skywatcher 8-inch Newtonian?
Yeah, this is the F5 8-inch Newtonian Skywatcher.
Yeah. Yasha, your scope is nearly that size, isn't it? So
I had the 200p and HAQ5 both at home, actually. And I think, let me just answer this question. For example, if you haven't started doing astrophotography at all, I wouldn't recommend getting a huge focal length, because you may because you have to find a target. At first, you have to, for example, that you don't know what you're doing, you have to first find 2 stars in good polar alignment, and with 1000 millimeters focal length, it was very hard for me. So most of the time in the past, I had to take like an hour or 30 minutes to just find the stars in the eyepiece, and then center it, and then go to another star, and then most of the times also the object that I was looking at wasn't even centered, so I had to center this too. But if you have the option to get it motorized, so capturing via like a program like Nina or SGP, and then plate solving with the 200p will be easy. But as I said, if you haven't started doing astrophotography, I wouldn't go on high focal lengths at all. I made my mistake, but I kind of got used to it quickly. And the HEQ5, with a combination with this Newton I had at home, it was just great. I was able to do 10-minute subs with the 294, and it was just looking good. So I would recommend the HEQ5. Yeah.
So one more thing to add about Newtonians. If it's your first telescope, be careful. Newtonians are notoriously some of the hardest telescopes to get shot because of the collimation. So I think to Yasha's point, a wide level refractor is going to give you that wow of astrophotography. Like what Peter is showing is a perfect example. I think the TS-24 is a stunning telescope, and it doesn't take much to get it working. With a Newtonian, you have the attractivity of a fast scope, but that fast scope comes at a price. Tilt will be more evident, collimation is harder, balance will be a little bit harder. So refractors are notoriously simple because it's a plug and play thing. It's very easy to balance, very distributed.
Also, flexure on Newton will mess with the focus quickly. So I would, if you think that you'll shot galaxies and small planetary nebula all the time, then I guess you could get a Newton. But otherwise, I would go with like an apochromatic refractor, 72 EDPH, or the one that Peter has now, which is the 94 EDPH. They're all great, and shot is insane.
What scope is that, Tor? Have you said before?
Just some advertising. That is the 76 EDPH.
I just sold my TS-ED80, you know, which is the telescope I started with.
Yeah.
That's a perfectly decent telescope. You know, I had a lot of fun with it, so I learned a lot of things. And you know, I think it's the safest way to start the astrophotography journey. You know, it's much less frustrating, and you know, you'll learn a lot. And then once you've graduated from that, you can move to the bigger telescopes.
Yeah, I totally agree with your opinions on that. I also many Newtonians in the past, and if you're new to that whole hobby, it's a difficult hurdle to get over. So a simple refractor would be also a good choice for a beginner. Yeah, great so far. In between, I want to tell you something more about our giveaway. And we want to do it the following way. First of all, we have these here. Okay, so vouchers for the Teleskop-Service shop, and we have 4 of them. We have one with €50 and 3 with €30 each, of course. And we want to give the €30 away just by comments in the chat. And this is done when you enter this keyword #giveaway in the chat. We will then do a raffle in the end of the session and check out our winners. And the €50 voucher is given away with a little question I will ask you in a couple of minutes. So that's for that. Just a moment to keep up here all the things. Okay. So, yeah, right. Then I would give the word to Yasha if you want.
Yeah, sure. So my April and a bit of March, that's 3 days, was very productive. I have to say, even though we have a lot of bad weather, I managed to get quite a few shots. They're mostly short integrations, of course. But I kind of this is Photoshop makes things so good. So yeah, let me just open it up.
Just put this over here.
I don't know where it is. Oh,
Is there a, like an advertisement for Visit Slovenia in here? Because you had a lot of nights, and me and Torsten are interested in the tourism package.
I mean, I'm totally in for it. Just send your equipment and I'll set it up here.
You need just a big roll of roof, and then you can let the people pay for the rent.
Right. So this was my first shot, actually shot last week. This is a 4-panel mosaic of the moon at 600mm focal length. I shot this with the 224MC, and of course I had to play with the camera itself. So this corner down here is a bit brighter because I messed up something with the gain and exposure, but it kind of managed it out. Yeah, so this is the mosaic that I shot. I'm not a fan of the moon, but it was just bright, and there were some clouds in the sky, so I couldn't do anything else. Yeah, this is the.
Yasha, do you mind getting closer to your microphone? I think there's
yeah,
a few people a little bit with the sound.
Is it good now?
It's perfect. We'll see if we get any more.
Yeah,
okay.
I can increase the level also here a bit. Let's see.
Right. So this is the moon. And then I, of course, played with it in pics inside. So this is the inverted moon. So you can see if we go back, this is, let's say this is the orange part here, and this is the blue one. And invert just made the orange blue, and the blue was made orange. This is inverting. Let's just talk about it a bit. I mostly do inverting when I have like a dark or dim structure in the photo. For example, with my Leo triplet, the Hamburg galaxy has like a tail, and I inverted it so it was visible a bit better. So I tried it on the moon too, and it came out nicely, so I just had to save it.
This is not a Mars composite for anybody that's asking. This is just the moon inverted, and Yasa's captured where the Apollo missions have landed, which is in the
somewhere here.
To the top right, to the 2 p.m. where the Sea of Serenity and Sea of Tranquility. That's where the missions have landed, in those two big spots there.
Okay.
Lower.
I will never remember that. But yeah, so there's some notable craters here that I don't know the name of. Just look at the moon when it's up and just don't mind it. So let's get to the deep sky now. This was one of my shortest integrations ever. This is just 2 hours of data with quite a big moon. And the detail is quite nice. I had to do a lot of noise reductions. You can see some artifacts from it, but you can see the line here very well. And some other galaxies too. For example, here is one, and then another one. It's just the galaxy season has its name for the right reasons, because there's a lot of galaxies, of course. So yeah, this is the Needle galaxy. If you don't know yet, it's quite bright. It's in Coma-Benarices cluster near the Coma-Benarices cluster, and it's also quite bright. So it's a good beginner target to do.
What telescope did you use for this, Yasha?
All of the shots I'll show is with the TS 6-inch photon, so 600 millimeters focal length f4. Yeah, also the coma corrector there. I'll talk about it later, the coma corrector, but I'll just focus on the photos now. So the next one is the Ring Nebula. This was also my last shot with the ZW294MC Pro, and I just sold a few days ago. And the detail that I got out, you can see the outer shell here. This is mostly brought out when you have like longer integrations and big focal lengths, so you get more detail out of it. You can see mine is pretty much washed out, sadly. But yeah, this is also just 4 hours of data. I have no idea why the O3 overwhelmed it so much, because I saw the outer structure here mostly in H alpha, not many times in O3. But I'm surprised that I still got it, so it's a good thing to have. Also, I was thinking of getting just RGB on it, because I saw someone shooting it in like with the DSLR and had like, and he got like a dark tail here from the integrated flux nebula or something. So I really want to try it with without a filter, so just the UV ear cut filter. So I hope I also can get more of the galaxy here. There's a galaxy next to it.
So with interflux nebulosity, the problem is that your light pollution will block most of it, unfortunately. And depending on your skies and your seeing, you really got to pick your night, Yasa, for this. It's hard to capture from suburban environments.
Yeah, no, but I just want to try it.
Of course.
So this is for the Ring Nebula.
Did you try to drizzle and 3x the data? There's a question from Edward in the chat.
I drizzled 3x only once, and I also have a photo. I think it's the next one or more. But I normally don't drizzle by 3, only by 2. If I have like a data or like an object that I wanna have a lot of detail of it, then I drizzle 2 times. Otherwise, I don't drizzle at all, because this is basically just takes a lot of space and doubles the resolution, I think. So yeah, I didn't drizzle for this one, but I think we can go on. Yeah, I drizzled 3 times for this one. So this is the M82, and it was shot with a planetary camera with the 600mm focal length. I was surprised by the detail I got of it, because this was shot at the moon that I just showed you before. This was shot just after I captured the moon. So for 1 hour of data, I think this is pretty good. I also got some of the H alpha filaments here and here. Otherwise, it's just the dark nebulae.
Beautiful shot.
Thanks. I also have to learn how to deconvolute, because I'm sure there's more detail hiding in here, maybe. So I just want to try this sometime. Also, I tried, like, I was star hopping that night because this was my last night with my camera, so I just wanted to like take a break out of it. So I also went to take a photo of M51 and M82 with the same equipment, but the M82 galaxy, so this one was just so much brighter, so I wanted to do just this that night. And it came out quite nice, even though I didn't guide, or it was just 10-second subs, 1 hour of it, and then stacked, and this was all probably. It was very noisy, and you can still see some of the noise here. And I think that's normal for the uncooled cameras, especially if they're not so high resolution.
Yeah, just a question from me. Did you had any issues with the distance to the coma corrector, or was it just working with the 55 millimeters?
I wasn't. I don't think I used the 55 millimeters because the coma corrector is basically if I would have like even 10 millimeters, I don't think there will be any impact of the photo because the sensor is super small, because this is with the 224 MC.
Oh, of course, yeah. On this field.
Yeah, so I just
no
I don't have the camera anymore. I just put the 2 bigger rings, so I think 16 millimeters and 11, and I just put those on the camera and then on the coma corrector, and it was working quite nice, so I didn't bother much about it. So this is it for the M82. Then next we have the M106. This is just, it sounds like almost nothing, but just 4 hours of data with quite a good skies, I think, because the moon was behind my house, so the scope wasn't affected by it too much. And the detail that the TS photon it provides is just amazing. You can still see the structures in here. And also in the satellite galaxy of it, you can also see some of the details.
Is it the 294 as well, or what is it?
This is with the 294.
Okay.
This was taken in the beginning of April when the skies, when there wasn't that much weather.
Your back focus looks pretty good. I don't see any deformations in the corners, so I think you got it pretty good for this one.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Look at it.
It's a little bit. It's fine. You just have to.
It could be better, but yeah, I'm fine with it because I always crop also, so I didn't even crop for this one. I think just the sides from the stacking artifacts. Otherwise, I just left it as it is, because it has a nice star field too, like this big star here and this kind of asterism right there. So, and of course, this part of the sky of the photo is like the best for me. If you crop it like this, wait, if we do it like this, because of the stars here in the galaxy, this is just an amazing
that's
view.
cool. Yeah.
So yeah, I also had some hard time making the galaxy parts blue, because I don't know what wasn't working, but then I just stretched the blue channel a bit more and it was good.
Do you do photometric color calibration with
I always do
LRGB?
that.
Okay.
I haven't color camera, so I just I always have to do that. I also do color calibration after that, because sometimes the background is a bit messed up. It doesn't work always as it should. So I just do a normal color calibration on it, and it's fine then. Then the next one is the M101. This is very over processed. Like, I am sorry that you see this. It's super noisy. I don't even want to zoom in. I haven't. Next photo is a bit better. But yeah, this is just to show you that the M81, N101 is just not a galaxy, but it has a lot of other arms, and I've seen a lot of people getting integrated flux nebula around it. So if you have time, I would highly recommend you to do it, because it's just wonderful. I didn't like it before when I shot it with my old Newt and the camera, so I just deleted all the data, and I said to myself that I have to do it again. So this is 10 hours of RGB and 7 hours of H alpha with a monochrome camera. This is important. Yeah. So quite.
What Bortle sky do you? What's your Bortle? What kind of light pollution do you have to deal with?
I would say it's from 6, like 6 around 6.
Okay.
Yeah, the clear outside map says it's 5, but people I know say that they see Milky Way clearly in Bortle 5. So because I don't see it anytime, like I have seen it just once from, but not even from the where I shot. So I shot this galaxy. So
I actually don't think that you can see a Milky Way in a Bortle 5. Peter, you might know this better than any of us. Do you know what it takes to see the center of the galactic core, Bortle 3 or lower?
I can see a bit even from Bortle 8, but then the Milky Way is extremely bright here, so
this does not count.
I mean, so I mean, when you go to Bortle 1, the Milky Way casts a shadow almost. I mean, it's so bright. So I would say 3, 4. You get pretty nice views in the southern hemisphere, at least.
So let's just go on the next one. This is the same data, just processed differently. I don't know how I got the star halos from the stars if you zoom in, but I think the detail is quite nice still. You can see some of the darker structures in the H alpha regions here very nicely. And also I want to give a shout out to the small galaxy right here, because it's super cool looking. And also has like, if it would collide with the M101, I think they do, but just it has like a circle around it with the darker structures of stars, and to capture this, I was pretty impressed. Even the arms of the M101, I was super impressed that I even got it. I guess I'm just underestimating the camera or the scope. But yeah, I also like about the scope that I use is the star spikes it does, because they're pretty much straight. I don't know how to say it, but they're always nice, and it's good to. It does like a nice effect in the photo itself.
And it reminds us of Hubble Space Telescope. These diffraction spikes have kind of been the key thing that you would see because of the spider veins in the secondary. So it's beautiful.
Yeah. So the cool one. So this is the Comet C 2020 R4. Currently is in constellation of Buddhis, but it's super quick. So you might want to hurry up with capturing it. This is 2 hours of data stacked out of 4 hours because of clouds and elongated stars. You can also see here some of the stars are elongated a bit, but it doesn't matter too much because the focus is on the comet. I was also having trouble with like the Stellarium software has a nice how can I say it? It's a nice software to locate the comets. For example, if you want to, can I just show you this? So if you want to check on a comet, let's say for the R4, it's here. You can also see it, and then you can. The fun part here is, why isn't my task board moving down? Okay, never mind. You can also see that currently this comet is next to a galaxy NGC 2964, and where's the comet now? Oh shit, sorry. If we move to the comet again, it's near to a cluster with the name of PGC 46997, and you can also, for example, you can slew to the galaxy and actually have the comet here, because the location of the comet and the galaxy is pretty much it. Like this is the actual location of the comet currently, and it's moving pretty fast, so I had to make sure that it didn't move out of my frame quickly. So this is the Comet C4 2020. And also I had trouble with Deep Sky Stacker when stacking it, because it just didn't want to stack the comet properly. So I had to do it in PixInsight, which did a pretty good job, I think.
Did you use there's a comment setting?
Yeah,
in DSL.
I did the. Oh yeah, I did the comment setting in Deep Sky Stacker, but in PixInsight I did the batch pre-processing. So for calibrating lights and aligning them, then I just in comet alignment, I just selected the first photo of the comet and the last one, and then I just ran it, and then image integration with no rejection, the same setting as this, and it gave me this. So I was quite happy that I even made it to here. And the next one, this is the same comet, just with the Winsort Kappa Sigma clipping and PixInsight when stacking, and it got rid of all of the stars. And like there's some still star gradients, but the comet is here. And it also this coma here is super big, because when I saw the single sub, I saw just this bright green or blue, whatever this is, smudge and a bit of around of it, and then when I stacked it and did the background extraction, it was just popped out a lot. So I really recommend it to shoot this comet if you can. It's not neo-wise, of course, but it's something special. Also because of the colors, this is just color calibration on the background, so the color calibration made it blue. I see a lot of people getting it green, but to be honest, the green is just not my personal taste, so I left it blue. So yeah, this is, I think that's the last photo of mine. Let's just see. Yeah, the moon. Okay, so this is it from me. Of course, if you have any questions, just ask me on Instagram here. And yeah.
That was great. Thank you all very much. I think really cool photos. I believe I am the one with the least time available because moon, clouds, rain, everything in April. That was really crazy. Just let me grab my folder. Oh, maybe first of all, oops, just a moment. I have to share this that all you can see. This is this one, and I did not capture it by myself. I relied here on data from Teleskop-Live. I'm not sure if anyone here from the viewers knows this platform. It's an online platform where you can grab data from real big telescopes, and you also can capture objects by yourself. So, I'm not affiliated with them. It's just I have an account there, and I like these data sets. They give away sometimes they call it pro data sets. And for example, this one here's a 15-hour integration with I think 60 centimeter telescope. So this is data you just can't grab by yourself normally. And this is NGC 2835, little galaxy on the southern hemisphere. But this is just a little sneak preview because it's not captured by me, so I can't.
Where was this? Where is it from? Is this down in Chile or is it
this
Spain?
is. Let me just have a look. I'm not quite sure. I think this is from Chile.
It's on the ASA scope, isn't it? On the big ASA Newtonian.
But not the 1 meter. That's not. Should have checked it before. Sorry. Okay, but now to some of my. I was able to capture.
We're seeing your desktop.
Yeah. I'm not ready prepared because. Let's just start with this one.
Johan, the galaxy that Thorsten showed was shot with the CDK-24.
Okay.
Oh.
Thank you
Plane
very
wave.
much.
Yeah.
A plane wave. Okay, but before showing you one of my real images, I want to remember you of this one here, this 50 euro voucher. I will give this away right now. And there is a little rule to it, because when I'm showing the next picture, I want you, the viewers, to suggest what object is shown, and then just please write it in the comments, and the first correct answer will win this 50 euro voucher. I hope you're okay with that, you all. You guys here, I'm sorry for you three. I had to exclude you from this raffle because we are just excluded from winning a voucher. I'm sorry for that. Okay, so let's just close this one. Okay, and here it comes. This one. While you
say Orion's Nebula, is that? I thought that's the M42. Is that the answer?
Maybe the Horsehead. I'm not sure. So while you are thinking about it, I will tell you something. This was shot under, I think, nearly the last full moon. I think it's a couple of time ago, and oh my God, I have to pay attention to not name it now. So I just nearly guys, you're cool.
Richard Fay.
Richard Fay. So I will say, Richard Fay. Yeah, I know that was a really short mentioning of this giveaway here, but Richard Fay did it, and all you other guys, thank you very much for your answers so far. It is M13, the Great Cluster in Hercules, and don't worry, because in the end of the session we will give away the 3 other vouchers, so no worries about that.
It is M13, so for everybody watching, it is M13, the globular cluster, not M3, not M92. So Richard, good job. You're quick.
Yeah, if you are in this hobby, you recognize M13 always by this bright star in this little galaxy. I don't know the designation, but this is always obvious. Yeah, better luck next time. No problem. So, and this was taken with an Ritchie-Chrétien 12-inch telescope with ASI 1600 camera, LRGB filters, and this was done, basically over the whole night, because moon was up, and I just kept integrating the whole night. I wasn't expecting very much, and to be honest, this is yeah, you're welcome, Richard. This is such a target that I often shot before, and was just to test out the equipment again. But it's so large and so bright that it's always a pleasure to look at, and the resolution with the 12 inches also, yeah.
Or just to say why Torsten was testing his equipment. For those who have Ritchie-Chrétien telescopes, you'll know that to test your collimation, tilt, and corrector, you will have to find the star cluster, and that would be the best test you can, because you'll get the smallest stars you can see, which will give you the best kind of indication if your collimation and everything's on track. That's what gear testing, in a sense, was with Torsten, if I'm not mistaken.
Exactly, Ryan. Exactly. Yeah.
Torsten, the galaxy on the right of it, it's named IC 4617.
Wonderful. Thank you. Yeah.
That should have been the question.
Okay, next time, yeah. And normally when you capture this under real dark skies, then much more is popping out here in the background. So this was really limited, but this cluster is so bright that there's no problem.
Did you do any HDR on it, or it's just by itself?
This M13 is actually by itself, but they're very short exposures. I think 60 seconds or maybe 120 seconds, but not longer. Because otherwise the inner stars are already saturated. But yeah.
No, I mean the HDR MMT and pics inside, because I always have to do this when I do a cluster.
No, not really. This is only, I think, a masked stretch and a histogram stretch. So
yeah. You didn't expose for long enough to need the HDR multi-transform.
I'm sorry, to what?
So what Yash does, in his case, he exposes for too long and the core gets blown out. So he has to use HDR multi-transform to bring that detail back. In your case, you expose for so less because of the moon that you don't need to do that.
Yeah.
Right?
Sorry, just had to, yeah. Okay. Well, let's check out the next one. That's an interesting.
Your background. Who took this rosette? Did you take this?
No way. I'll tell you something about this in a second. We had already a C2020 R4 Atlas, and this is my approach. The thing with the big RC is I can't track on a Comet core. This is not possible because of the OAG, of the off-axis guiding. So I just kept this field in the view, took, I think, 60-second exposures, and then, just did this here.
And you can already see how fast it is in just 60-second exposures.
I was, shocked, to be honest. After doing 2 or 3 exposures, I had to reframe my field of view, because otherwise it would be run out so quickly. But yeah, this is nice. But I was not able because again, this was moon really high up. I was not able to capture any of the coma, unfortunately.
Also,
So-
if you're becoming a Comet fan, there's another one in the sky right now. It's the C2020 T2.
Oh,
Like,
okay. Do you know where it is located right now?
yeah, on the first May, it was just next to the R4. Like, you can
Oh.
get it in the same frame.
Whoa,
But
that's
the R4 is so fast that it's
yeah.
very far away at the moment.
I'm pretty sure then we will see some pictures of don't know, Gerald Rehmann or somebody
They're
of
already
the
up.
of
I can
the.
show. I'll send it to you on WhatsApp later.
Okay, okay. One more. In the last session, we talked about this one of my favorite galaxies, ARP 188, and I think Ivan, you had mentioned I should put some bin color data to it, and I did. I think 2 nights after our session, I had just had this again in the field and did some RGB data to it. Yeah, this is just a stunning galaxy. Unfortunately, I can't zoom in very much because this is a reduced version, and I'm still suffering heavily from noise. So I had to put in some more data here. Yeah, but
I think there's an image taken by Hubble of this, if I'm not mistaken, right?
exactly, it is
Stunning.
yeah.
But
And-
the galaxy you have in the top right is also came out really, really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. And it's cool to compare the Hubble image when you think, yeah, okay, I got also this little knot here and this bright part of the galaxy, and yeah, that's a cool thing. And last but not least, so unfortunately, as I said, only very little time. This is M92, so this time I said to you before, also a great cluster in Hercules. Next to, M13. It's a bit smaller, a bit more compact, but also a very nice object. And this was difficult to process, and I still did not perfectly got it, even with an HDR frames. So I took 30-second frames and 120-second frames because those are not what I really like. That was really difficult, that one. And also a long integration. I think, 5 hours. Normally nobody would capture such an object 5 hours, but yeah, there's just no other galaxies possible when the moon is in the sky.
You could do a very huge mosaic of the Coma cluster. No, I mean the Coma star cluster.
Yeah, okay, that would be a really, really huge mosaic. When talking about this data here in the background, I can show you what I got from Telescope Live so far. So to be honest, I use this service to capture galaxies for the ARP catalog, for the ARP Galaxies catalog, because I just can't reach them from Northern Hemisphere. This is my personal approach, but they also give away these pro data sets, and they are just stunning. And for example, this rosette. So this was not taken by me, but it was processed by me. So you get SHO data.
I think it's beautiful.
This is just crazy. And I also captured the rosette by myself before, but not something like this. It's just not possible because my stars are always too big. And yeah, maybe you saw it already. I also did some real processing with StarNet and blended in some artificial stars and so on. So processing is sometimes pretty hard, also with this professional data. For example, this one here. This is the deepest integration that they offer you. This is NGC 3981, which is a 30-hour integration on the 1 meter telescope. So
and let's be clear, 30 hours in a Bortle 1 is equivalent to 210 hours in a Bortle 7.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
This is
it's just uncomparable by any means to data that an amateur can capture. So I had to process this, but these cameras, these old FLI cameras, are not the best in any way, especially nowadays. So there were some row defects in it, and with 200 subframes and less dithering or not enough dithering, it was difficult to process. But thankfully, Adam Block did a 4-hour tutorial how he processes these datasets, and that was a great help. So anyone can follow this, and of course you have to use PixInsight to follow his instructions, but it was great. And I was
using a defect column list and all that to kind of find those columns.
Defect column map? Defect column? No, it was.
Defect columns. Yeah, you can map those out.
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, in these images, maybe let's just quickly. Normally I wouldn't start it, but let me just show you a raw frame. I hope you're fine with that. Yeah.
So
cool.
To specify, we're talking about all CCD cameras, charge coupled devices that are completely different than CMOS cameras that suffer from something called column defects, where entire rows of pixels die, and through the readout, it looks like it's a dead column.
Yeah, and with this camera and this insanely long single sub exposure time, there's another effect coming in, and this is a luminance raw frame. So if you are in astrophotography, you know this is looking pretty bad, to be honest. But they cover this effect with just many integrations and with some tools in PixInsight. So all these little dots here are easily movable by the cosmetic correction. But here, this defect column creates an effect that the subsequent columns here to the right become brighter, and this is not solvable with any correction tool, so you have to use pixel to create weird bias frames to subtract it, but it is working, and so you can create a nearly flat image.
And is this the 16803 that this was captured with, an FLI 16803 Pro?
If this is the square one, yes. Then it is a 1603. Yeah.
It is an amazing camera, but it suffers from these column defects because they're so sensitive.
Yeah. Another thing, really interesting thing, with this 1 meter telescope from which is located in
Chile.
Definitely Chile. Yeah. This is an Altats mounted telescope. And it is Newtonian style, so you have, of course, your diffraction spikes. But when moving this telescope, the diffraction spikes are rotating. This is because you have a rotator on the focuser mounted. Maybe you can get an idea here. This is a different subframe. For a couple of minutes later or hours later, you see that these spikes are rotating, and this will also create weird looking stars. So I had, to be honest, I used a Photoshop script, and I'm not happy about this, but I used the script to put in spikes again. The original stacked one does not have spikes, it has just these relatively large stars, because not everything is rejected here, because at some point everything is bright, so the stars can't be smaller.
So how many hours did you spend processing, including with the 4-hour tutorial from Adam?
You have definitely take this into account, because I watched pretty much of it. No, first I did it by myself. I just processed it as I normally process images, and this was not working at all. Then I watched, I think, 2 or 3 hours of his processing, especially these defect row. This defect column. I'm sorry. This processing of this defect column, and then another. The stacking alone, or the registration alone, took I think an hour or so, even on a fast PC. But yeah, this is also a Galaxy of the ARP catalog, so I was super happy that I hadn't captured it by myself, because to be honest, this Teleskop-Service, Teleskop-Live service is quite expensive, and to do an image like this, it was just insanely expensive. So can't afford this. Yeah. Okay. So I think enough. Maybe another one, because you don't only get perfect data from them. You also get sometimes. Okay.
Ooh.
Maybe a bad example, but yeah, just bad data. Clouds rolled through, that's possible, or the focus is off. That also happens sometimes. Yeah, here you have tracking issues, I think. All this can happen because they are all normal telescopes. We're not talking about a guided Hubble telescope or something. And all are automated, so errors may happen sometimes.
Talking about price, Torsten, you know, there's a company who offers times for imaging from a telescope in space. I believe it's $50 a minute, and you can image with a telescope in space.
I never heard of that.
There's two companies who do it. $50 a minute is what it costs, I believe. I was looking at it. They have 60 or 100 megapixel cameras. And yes, they have two different services for telescopes in space like Hubble that you can image with, which probably don't require guiding or anything like that.
Wow, okay. I think we should save the vouchers, aren't we? That's crazy, okay. Okay, enough of images for the moment. Let me just stop my sharing. So, I want to talk about one other thing. Oh no, by the way, I want to mention something that I just wrote down recently, especially for all the German viewers. There is an Astro Fair rolling in on the next weekend. The ATT, which is normally located in the city of Essen in Germany, one of the largest astronomical fairs here in Germany. And yeah, you all know nothing happens this year on location, so this fair went digital, and on the website att-digital.de you can join the sessions on Saturday beginning from 10 a.m. I think, and of course Teleskop-Service is also there with a virtual booth, and all the other big companies, and also speakers who will do some live sessions. So you all feel invited there to have a look. att-digital.de. So that's just as a side note. Okay, a thing that I want to cover a bit, because it was also a topic in the chat just some minutes ago, was Bortle scale and light pollution. And I want to talk, or I want to ask you, how even are you affected by light pollution? I think you are, because no one of us lives in the desert. But yeah, I just want to ask in the round, how do you cope with it, and yeah, what can we do with it?
Who should go first, Torsten? Should we start
just
the more fortunate people? Yasha and Peter, who have better light conditions than we do.
Yeah, Peter, we always see your background here, and we are getting crazy. These blue skies, I've not seen blue skies since a week now. Are you located directly in the city, or?
No, it's about 3 or 4 kilometers from the city. The mountain basically separates me from the CBD, the Central Business District.
Okay.
So you've got the Atlantic Ocean on one side, that's by the CBD, and basically the mountain sort of sits between it and me. And then the city kind of spreads around the mountain. So if I'm shooting towards the mountain, it's probably I'd say Bortle 7. And if I'm shooting away from the mountain, sort of, I guess, east, it's Bortle 8. So it varies between 7 and 8.
Your images that we saw are under Bortle 7 or 8?
Yeah, Bortle
Oh
7.
my god, I can't believe it. Okay. Then they are even more impressive.
And I have neighbors as well. I have to negotiate with my neighbors. One of them has a spotlight, and I spent a lot of time fighting with him for at least 2 years. I fought with this guy, and eventually he sold his place, and then someone much more reasonable moved in. And the problem's now gone away, which is fantastic.
Okay, cool.
And then the neighbor that looks directly over the observatory, they've got a big flat screen TV, which shines directly onto the observatory, reflects off the wall of my house and then into the observatory. And I asked them to put a blind up, which they did. So I've got fairly reasonable, sympathetic neighbors. But yeah, it's Bortle 7, 8, and the way I get around it, lots and lots and lots of hours of integration time, basically.
Yeah.
It's and what I do find, though, what I have found with the Rasa 8, because it's so fast, and because you can get away with short exposures, that's really, really helped. So with RGB data, I'm taking 20-30 seconds with the Rasa. Narrowband, no more than 2 minutes. And then because it's so fast, 20-30 hours with the Rasa is an enormous amount of data, and then you can be very selective about what you keep and what you throw away. So that's
because you're next to the ocean, do you suffer from any like marine layer coming in from time to time and being annoying?
Yeah. Look, Cape Town's it's not the best location. 2 or 3 hours away, you can get to Bortle 1, and I have a friend who has a place in a spot called near Clanwilliam in the Cedarburg, and there's Bortle 1. And that's 3-hour drive from Cape Town.
Okay.
So you can get, once you're out of the city, you can get to Bortle 3, Bortle 2 very quickly.
I can't even imagine how long I had to drive when I want to reach a Bortle 1 sky, or even 2.
Out of Europe.
Yeah, of course.
I think there's some parts of Europe that might have it, but
yeah,
we're talking about
I'm regularly in southern Austria on the Emberger Alm, and there's definitely Bortle 3, and there are also places, the higher mountains that may be a bit darker.
But I have to say, the mountain does help. The fact that the mountain blocks the light from the city, in my case, does help a lot.
Yeah. So sorry, I just had to write a quick message. Maybe next one.
Who's next?
Oh, right. So as I said, I'm kind of in bored of stakes. The only bad thing I have at my home is that on the south there's like a city center from like my city, and then the capital city is like 15 kilometers away, which shines up whole the sky. Like if I see clouds orange in the night, and I know that's the capital city. So my south is probably the worst thing that I can have. but otherwise it's quite good. Also on the east, I don't know why, but anytime I shoot at east, for example, when I shot the Leo triplet with my EDPH, which is at 4.5, I had to do around 15 dB east to just get rid of the gradients that light pollution made. So I don't know if I should, like, for sure it's 4 to 6 in the zenith and on the north, but otherwise I think it's 4 to 7 all around it. But I deal with it. So I'm limited to 1 minute subs with basically any scope I have, especially the EDPH because it's very wide, so a lot of light comes in. Well, a lot of surrounding light can come in. So I tried with the TS photo that I have right here. I tried 2 minute subs and it wasn't that bad, but for sure 1 minute it's quite good for me. And as I'm not a fan of narrowband imaging, I don't have that good exposure length. So I shot the Ring Nebula. It's 3 minute subs, and the H alpha for the M101. I did 5 minute subs, but I'm for sure I can go to 10 because the data that I got from the monochrome camera was just so clean. It was a joy to just do 1 dB and then combine with the RGB. So yeah, I think if I have one day, someday when I have enough money for it, I get an RC. I could probably go to 2 minute subs because the F ratio is a bit slower. Yeah, I think I'm doing pretty good. And also when I had the Alpro filter, which has cells pretty quickly because it kind of blocks the broadband, so the dimmer like integrated flux nebula or dark nebulae, and it messes up with the star colors. I sold it, but I was able to do like 3 minute subs even if I was point at the south. So the filters can help, but just not in every aspect of the photo if you want to have it. For example, the L Pro filter, it was super good. It also lets in some of the H alpha data, but of course the star colors were messed and not a lot of dark nebulae came in because I shot Pleiades with it and I had to stretch literally the hell out of it to get a bit of the surrounding dust because the L Pro blocked it. But also in the summer when I had a chance to have the Space Cat from William Optics and the DSLR, I pointed it for 2 hours in Pleiades and I got a lot of the outer parts of the nebulae. So the light pollution really is bad, and the light pollution filters, if you're not that of a precise or like if you don't mind the star colors too much, and if you're more of a galaxy guy or for example like narrowband imaging, I think the L Pro would fit you well. Otherwise I wouldn't recommend it. Now I'm stuck with the UV ear cut filter, which prevents me from having halos around stars with a doublet. And it kind of increases the sharpness of the Newton, but also blocks some of the H alpha. So if I would process the M101 without H alpha, it will probably be just blue everywhere.
So the UVIR is a luminance filter. That's what it's built for, and it's built to cut any UV and IR signal. So technically, you should never let in H alpha because I think it's specifically going for broadband. I mean, it will let a little bit in, but it shouldn't look like an H alpha filter. So it's a necessary.
the L
camera.
Pro, like the L Pro filter lets in some of the HO filter. I saw that on my Orion shot. But when I shot it with the UV ER cut just for testing for 4 hours, I didn't see so much of the red, more of the like the brownish nebulae. So the same color as the molecular cloud in the Orionis broadband, of course. But yeah, I couldn't use the data because it was trailing. I had these walking noise in a pattern of a circle, so there was a lot of it wrong. But yeah, this is my light pollution stuff.
Should I go next, Torsten?
Yeah, please.
I have a bone to pick with these light pollution filters. I actually have one here, and I will say that it's from a company that starts with R. It's a Radian Ultra Quad filter, and it is.
Oh my god!
It is an incredible filter. I'll say that. The technology used to build it, kudos to Dustin and the team. But it's a gimmick in the sense that the stars in red are smaller than the stars in blue and green, so you're gonna get weird stars. Second is it's not good for any reflection nebula. It's only good for the emission nebulas, and there's a lot of issues with these kind of things. The other thing that happens with that filter is it will cut the signal dramatically. So there's a lot of issues with it. It will definitely influence and cut a lot of signal out. So I live in a Bortle 6.87 sky. I live next to the Pacific Ocean, so this kind of late night marine layer always comes in. It says clear on all the apps, but then all of a sudden you go out and it's cloudy and there's nothing you can do. So I've tried a lot of imaging in RGB and one-shot color, tried filters. There's nothing that I can kind of say I like. It's always these weird background patterns. DB doesn't work on it. The IFN, if any, or dust isn't seen because of the light pollution. I have neighbors who have almost like stadium lights for raccoons. The raccoons don't care, but the lights still go on. Especially if you're using reflectors or fast scopes, any light will come in and it will start to create these weird reflections in your imaging train. I've kind of then settled on narrowband. The reason is I have a pretty tight band passes, 3 nanometers on my filters, so light pollution and the moon don't really bother me too much. Seeing is the only limitation. Again, with high humidity, you can have problems. I've had the Optolong L Pro, I've had the L Enhanced, the L Extreme. The L Extreme and the L Enhanced, to be honest, don't make any sense to me. I just think they're gimmicks. Just get a mono camera instead of investing in these do-it-all filters. I think that there's a saying, jack of all trades and master of none, and in a way, it kind of happens like that. And mono is more expensive, but it's going to get you better quality data, and you're going to be happier long-term than a one-shot color in any filter. And I say this with the utmost respect for all of these filters, because some of them, like the Radian, are amazing. But I have processed the Rosette for 9 hours with the Radian, and the stars are still, they're not something I would be proud of publishing. So my imaging rigs rely on narrowband, and I kind of made it almost a image of mine to do narrowband. But I have traveled to a Bortle too, like I said, and I have a visitor I need to kick out, my cat. He's here to give an opinion on astrophotography. I have traveled to a Bortle 2 sky, and then it's a completely different thing. Like Yasha was saying, there's no need for flats. There's no need for DBs as much. The signal is just clean. And I think that's great, but it's boring. I think that astrophotography, like to what Torsten was saying, should be hard. You should learn how to process. You should know all of these. So to me, living in a light polluted sky like everybody is, I found it almost as a challenge to learn to work around it, to learn to use narrowband and mono cameras to create decent images or good images. So I think we all live in a bad sky. I have a highway not far from my house, so there's a lot of sky glow there. There's neighbors, there's humidity. All of these things add up, and like Peter was saying, you lose a lot of frames because of it. But you know, I found it personally that a mono camera and narrowband is probably the best you can do in any situation.
Except shooting galaxies.
Yes, I'm not a galaxy kind of guy. I did do some
okay.
galaxies in the beginning. I shot the Sombrero, I shot the Needle Galaxy, I shot quite a few of them. I love shooting galaxies, but it's just almost incompatible with my specific location. I would love to do it more. I started shooting the M81 and M82, and luckily in an hour you can see a lot of IFN, but the seeing changed and I couldn't finish the image, so I only have luminous data for that object from a dark sky.
Okay. Yeah, in my case, it's how to explain it? The location where I set up my observatory has a street lamp 10 meters away or 15 meters away. But luckily, the street lamp is switched off at 11 p.m. for the currently. I'm not sure what the future will bring, but currently it is. Oh, it is switched
Just
off.
turned into camera.
Yeah, okay. Currently it is switched off at 11 p.m. and then it is switched from a bottle 6 or something, bottle 7 to a bottle 3. No, 4, I'm sorry. I checked to bottle 4 and I'm pretty happy with that, so I can't complain. Except when going low to the horizon, there are always cities surrounding me. Even when they are 20 kilometers away, there is light pollution visible, at least at up to, I think, 20 degrees of altitude. There's nothing to get on the horizon, and unfortunately, most of the objects that I'm interested in are crossing the meridian very low in the south, especially now in Virgo. Many galaxies to capture, but super difficult to get them. Yeah, okay. I think what do you think? Should we give away the free remaining vouchers?
Sure.
Joe?
Yeah.
No, wait. Just you have your hand raised, by the way.
Oh yeah, this is from no. I just wanted to ask Jan when he said that the G and B stars with the narrowband filter are smaller than the red one. For example, for me, the R stars were always out of focus when the G and the B ones were good. But the focus was good because the detail was pretty good. Like the detail was good. But yeah.
It depends on a few things. It depends on what transmissions are aligned to what channels. For me, Sulfur and HA were in red, so those are technically smaller stars. And there were 4 nanometer bandpasses, so obviously smaller. And then H beta and I believe oxygen is aligned to blue and green, so those are bigger and they're quite visibly bigger. So it depends. Every filter is mapped out differently. I think the impressive thing about the quad, the radiant quad, is the amount of band passes they could get through there, right? So they have sulfur, they have oxygen, they have HA, and they have H beta. It comes at a price, so you have to process it. There's an image by, I think, Jason Gonzalez, I think, created an amazing image of the rosette with that filter. But it also, processing time was probably hours. So that's why I think mono is just simpler. You can shop around, you can see one-shot color cameras could do narrowband filters, but it just requires more integration. Guys, I have to drop off in a few minutes. I have an appointment I need to finish. I'm sorry if I'm going out earlier. I am, but I wanted to say it was great to chat with you guys. Nice images, and again, Peter, Bortle 8 and 7. You must be kidding, because your images look like Bortle 4. To be honest, that's why I was pointing the question to you is like that because it looked like you were imaging from a really good sky. So congratulations on your work and the level of detail you can get from there.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, no, and I completely agree that you know, going mono and going narrowband, particularly if you are in a heavily light polluted zone, is definitely worthwhile. You know, it just makes life so much easier.
Sorry, I'm right back. I had just to clean up some things here. But Yasha, did you already told about your light pollution?
I started.
Sorry. Sorry.
Don't worry.
Too many windows open also in my head.
Cool guys,
Okay.
I got a drop.
Thank you
We'll
very
soon talk, okay?
Thank you very much, everyone, for attending. Next time again would be a pleasure for us.
I shall see you next time.
Yeah.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, and before the time runs out, I want to do this giveaway. So I just had to set up all the attendees here. So quickly a reminder, maybe just a quick reminder for all the remaining viewers. When you put this hashtag giveaway as shown in the lower right in the chat, then you can automatically attend on a giveaway of, let me show them again, 3 vouchers for the shop of Teleskop-Service, each of 30 euros. So I think that's a pretty nice thing to have. And yeah, I think all the other topics, I will just quickly wrap up what we discussed in the beginning for all the new viewers. In the next sessions, we want to also have guests invited here. We are already in contact with some people that they can share their astro experience, their gear maybe, and images. And we will invite them, we will get in contact with them. And of course doing an advertising so you get this early enough, and we hope that you are also attending the next full moon session. That will definitely happen. I hope, at least I hope. And we want to also do an image review session from your images. That means if you have any images to show you, just drop us a message, and to a contact email. We just prepared for this. Let me make this a bit bigger. Let's see. Yeah, unfortunately, no. Let me put it this way. So when you put any questions or your images to this email address that is shown here, this comes directly to us. This is a Gmail address, so we don't want to completely crash the TS server. So this is a different email. Because we are not especially exclusively working for TS, so this is in parallel here. So okay, enough for that, and let's just do our giveaway. Activated bot / giveaway. And again, I had to check out some people. Guys, maybe you can say something. I need just 1 minute more.
Sure.
Just sing something or whatever you
Oh, I
want.
have a question for Peter. I know that you have a Rasa, but have you tried with shooting with a monochrome camera?
With the Rasa,
Yeah.
yes, almost exclusively with the mono.
And how do you switch filters every night, or do you have like a filter wheel or something? Because I know that the
No,
Rasa
you
has.
can't. No, you can't run a filter wheel, so it's basically 1 filter per night. But I tend to do that anyway, even with the refractor. I do have a filter wheel, but I don't use it. I rather, put a filter slider in and then focus on 1 filter per night, because, it's Portal, as I said, Portal 7, 8. You need a lot of data, and I'm in for the long run. I will typically spend a month on a target and gather as much data as possible, and you know, that's just the way it is.
Okay, so now I'm ready, and I have a random chat comment picker here that will select three commenters here and just roll it. And the first one, I hope I got everything right. Oh yeah, the bot already tells you the name, so I don't have to copy it. Please, for the winners, please reach us also through the given email address that you see in the center of the screen, that we can connect you to your win and to your YouTube account. That would be great. So, first winner, Edward Demenchik. And the next one. And please all, if you haven't done yet, please consider subscribing. So, the second one. Congratulations so far. And there is the last one to give away. And this is happen right now. So here we are. The Mocha and the Astro Dude has also won a voucher. Great thing, congratulations from us. So, okay. For now, I think we are at the end of this session. Thanks to you guys for attending again, and I'm really looking forward to our next full moon session. I hope you can arrange it in some way. Would be really cool. We will do also an invitation for the viewers, and through some advertisement, of course, with the topics that we want to cover in the next session. Okay, so thanks again,
Right.
and see you soon.